Alright, so we're gonna do a quick drawing of this little scene up ahead, and let's put in over here the horizon line, roughly where the horizon line is, about here. I want a lot of detail here in the foreground bits and pieces. Okay, we do have an area at the back here, a bit of the water. Okay, there we've also got some rocks. Okay, we can just get in these large sort of darker rocks. I think they probably look like basalt. Okay, all the way out to the back, but you can see out in the distance as well, there's a lot of these kind of houses and things as well. Okay, so a little bit of grass here, maybe like that, a little bit of grass, and I can go ahead and put in some details of some houses, just really basic houses like this. Okay, just coming out kind of smaller, actually. They're probably too big, the ones before, like that. Okay, just little ones off in the distance. Trees as well here, just large shapes of trees. More smaller houses out there, like that. Okay, rooftop. More indications, we don't need too much detail, like that. Okay, and these rocks are great because they sort of bring a bit of contrast into the water. You can see some just in the middle of the water, like that. These ones are a little bit closer and larger, okay, as well. Okay, as we get closer down, it's really just a lot of shrubs and things. Lots of these little shrubs here. There's rocks. Okay, just put in a few of these overlapping rocks, like that. Another one here. There's also a lot of this grassy stuff here. Tons of this grassy stuff. Okay, and as I move closer, even I can put in some big ones, really big rocks, just closer to me here as well. Okay. Okay. Some bigger rocks here. Sort of almost see the front of them off on this boardwalk up the top here. Okay, and underneath them you got a lot of darkness, but the top of them are, you know, you've got lots of sunlight on them. Okay, that, but you know, lots of grass as well, so you can see this, like, and larger shrub here. You know, all in the back you've got some of these smaller rocks, these tinier rocks over here that just kind of overlap and disappear off into the background, like that. Okay, nice little rocks that disappear off into the background, which is also shadowed and overlapping with some of these shrubs and grass. Okay, this is a big shrub here. I don't need to do much with that, but there is another, possibly you could put in another rock here that's again just behind the grass. Another larger rock that just comes out here, perhaps. Okay, like this, and again just emphasizing the bottom part of that rock here, bottom section of that rock. And put in another shrub around this section. Okay, there we are. More shrubs here, more rocks. This is like a flatter one that's off a bit further like that, and just colour underneath the rock as well, again to give that sense of darkness, bit of shadow. Okay, some more bigger rocks here. Try not to keep them the same shape as well. It can be at times tempting when you're drawing to make them all quite similar when actually they are fairly different. Okay, another one there, and lots of little grassy bits and pieces running across there in the background. So that's about it for the drawing. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with the painting. And got myself some water here. I'm just holding it in my left hand in a little bottle, and I've got a mop brush. I'm going to pick up myself some blue, bit of cerulean, and just drop that into the sky. I like to just start off with the cerulean first, and I'm trying to get it pretty watery, about yeah, mostly just water, about 10% paint. And you know, you can also see there's these houses there in the distance. I will probably get some color in for them in a moment, but just a touch of that sky wash to start off with. And the paper is on a slight slope as well, about 20-degree slant downwards, and just cutting around those, houses for now. Get in a bit of colour for them for the rooftops or something like that later on. There we go. Let's bring some of that down the page. And we know all this area at the back here is a bit of this grassy sort of colour, so a touch of yellow ochre here is going to be nice. A bit of yellow ochre and a bit of Naples yellow maybe. Okay, just kind of trying to do this within the most most economical sort of way that I can do it. Quite economical way. Okay, and you see some of this just moves its way downwards. We'll get getting a little bit of the colour of the houses as well, just the bottom parts of them like that. Just a little touch of colour there, and continue on and get in a bit of the water. So I'm just mirroring the sky, but I will put in a touch of darker blue as well. Okay, and we'll blend, get a bit of that background, joining into the midground. There we are. It's all just running down from the top of the page. Okay, and the water is yeah, kind of, it's just mimicking the sky really, like that, but I'm making the water a little bit darker, just a touch darker. Okay, good. Now coming further down, I'm going to start playing around with some of the colours now, but I'm actually going to get in a bit of the rocks, some of the colours of the rocks. So we'll go with some yellowish, lighter yellow colour running through there, a bit of this Naples yellow, kind of an off-white colour. Also some of this buff titanium as well. Okay, just to get in some lighter parts of these rocks quickly and efficiently. I mean, I can mix up some greys as well like that. They don't all have to be the same colour, and in fact a lot of these rocks a lot of these rocks are quite dull and grey in colour anyway. So just picking up whatever I can find. Often when you mix everything on the palette together, you're going to end up with a nice grey colour anyway that you can use for a lot of stuff. Okay, but just remember to keep it nice and loose like that. Alright, let's just put in some more greens. I've got some emerald green here, and I'm going to drop this in. You've got hooker's green or emerald green, just a dark green. I'm going to just drop that into the top here, and I'd have noticed also that some of the yellows in here, there are some vibrant greens. So I've put in a bit of yellow in here, that's what I'm trying to say. So a bit of yellow into that other green, and that will just create a bit more interest and vibrancy. Okay, this is Hansa yellow, by the way. Hansa yellow. And a bit of emerald green. Just trying to mix in some of these greys as well, so that it's not too much of the same color running through here. You can make it too vibrant. Okay, so cutting around. This is some more of this shrub or something here on the side. There, cutting around these like rocks basically, and because this area is still drying, you'll find that a lot of this stuff will just mix in together with the rocks, create some nice blends that you will appreciate. Let's put in some more of this Naples yellow through here. I do think that some of this will be good because it's kind of like a yellowy grass color running through here. Okay, Naples yellow and a bit of yellow ochre. I don't want this to be too vibrant, but you know, look at that, just some of this stuff running through here. Very watered down mix as well, lots of water and then Naples yellow. Okay, so you get these bits of grass running through here, these longer strands of grass that just go through the scene like that. You want everything to just mix together really at this stage. We're not looking for details or anything too complicated. Good. Maybe I'll get some grass also running through the front or something there. Let's get some more greyish colour or something also, maybe underneath these rocks. Okay, like that. I mean, it's really a good time to think to yourself where you're going to put in your darks at this stage. Okay, and I've got really a lot of greys already left on the palette, and I can play around, pick up some of those greys, okay, just on the edges of my palette, and try to suss out the bottoms of some of these rocks. Okay, like around here perhaps, here. Okay, switch to a slightly smaller brush. It's going to make it more easy to control, and I'm just dropping some more of this here to create this same grassy sort of effect here in the front as well. Okay, you can get it to run down the page, no problem, something like that. Darkness at the bottom of the rocks, maybe a bit more blue, a bit more ultramarine blue, something at the bottom like that. Another rock there, and as you can see, everything is still wet. The paint's still wet, so you're going to get some areas that will run together like this. Bottom of this rock as well, maybe you could just indicate something there. and that one there as well. You know, something here. These overlapping rocks or whatever. Nice sort of darker parts at the base of them. There's another one maybe there. You know, after a while it becomes easy to just sort of see where you need to add them in. The ones at the back are, you know, you don't really need too many darks, but I find it by, especially in a scene like this where we're reducing the complexity a lot, kind of emphasizing maybe some darks on those rocks at the back can actually be quite helpful. Okay, what we got on the right hand side, perhaps we can put in some more of these shrubs or things, just also running through and creating a bit of harmony and intermixing as well with the rocks. Okay, all running down the page, and sort of just draws that paint further down. Okay, good. Let's put in some other colors, a little bit more color into this area in the back. I'm going to use a small round brush, little round brush with some of the green, darker green. It can be hooker's green, can be olive green. Okay, not much water in there at all, probably 50% water, 50% paint. And what we're going to do now is try to imply some parts of these shrubs in the background that have sort of darker parts, darker components. Okay, little bits like that. There. Okay. Oops, that's too blue. Let me just put in a bit more green in there to dull that down. Get rid of that blue. Okay. There. Another ones, and you're just creating a little bit of contrast between the rocks and some of the darker spots in the background. Okay, that's really dark there, almost gone too dark, but there are actually some very dark spots there if you look very carefully into the behind the rocks and things like that. So having a touch of it here and there helps, and I'm starting to also draw out some details of some of the rocks by doing this, just tapping on and finding a little area that I can emphasize. Okay, this is kind of bluish and purplish in color. A bit here underneath as well for that one. The separations of these rocks are really quite important. Okay, like that. More separations on the rocks. Some more here. You know, in this area I'd actually probably get some gouache in or something like that for some of that grass. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Oh, let's go ahead and drop in some of these darker rocks here in the background. I've just got some neutral tint, and these are really dark, these rocks. I can just put these in with only a few little brush strokes. That's a rock. That's another one here. I mean, this is actually a purpley color actually. I'll mix in a bit of brown into it. That might be better. Brown and purple or something like that. There. You know, just little bits of these rocks that overlap with each other. Okay. Look at that. Doesn't require much effort at all, really. Just drop it in. There's some more here in the back here as well. There. there, like that. You know, look at that, there's also some smaller ones that just overlap. Okay, those basalt sort of rocks off in the background. Normally I put reflections and stuff in the water, but I'm not gonna bother too much with that for this one. It's tricky enough as is. Another thing I want to emphasize quickly while I'm out here is just some separation here, because there's just not enough separation of these shrubs and the shrubs and this area in the back. Okay, with the water there, so this will become sharper now. See how sharp this has become, because that area of the water has pretty much dried off now. So going over the top of this will create kind of these sharper edges. Okay, like that. We can also start doing the same thing here, picking out some spots to darken off in the bottom part of the scene. Okay. Like that. You know, you do get little bits in here as well, tiny little bits of green running through. Good. Now, finishing touches, I'm going to just put in some quick little things for the buildings in the background. Just a little indication of like the shadows firstly underneath the rooftops. Whoops, something like that. Okay, there's one. I'm just picking up some of the grey that's left over on my palette to do this. There, you know, you've got a bit there. Okay, something like that. Simplify that down. Get a stronger sense of light running through in areas. Maybe a bit of the chimney or something here you can just indicate on a few of the buildings, like that. There. Okay. And that's finished.